Obviously the big question is the quarterback battle going on behind JP. What have you seen so far for some of those guys, and what stood out to you?
I tell you that John Rice is playing at a very high level. He's taking care of the football. He's running the offense the way we want him to run it. I'm very excited where he's at. And then it is a battle right now, and they're constantly being graded on a daily basis on targets, decisions, and and there's Timmy McClain obviously has playing experience. He has improved incredible from the spring and where he was more of a freelance artist, kind of doing his own thing, to now he's playing quarterback. And the install now has gotten where it's a lot of stuff that we've installed, and he's got to chop it up and dissect it and really define. But he is doing what I want him to do at quarterback, where we can trust him with the keys to the offense and go out there and go win for us. And Timmy is doing that. He's very explosive running the football. He's got to improve on his ball security. He wants to be like Michael Vick and hold the ball out to the side, and we don't do that. But I really like where he is and his progression from where he was in January through the spring and now into fall camp, where we can go win with him. So I'm very excited about that. Now he's got a long way to go. He's got to detail the position, and again, it's a constant daily deal. It's a mental toughness with him, but he can make a lot of defenses nightmares with what he does when he does scramble, and again, when he's running that offense correctly, it's pretty darn good. So we just got to keep working with him. The next guy that's really stepping up is Dylan Risk. He is a true freshman. He is working constantly on the game, the offense. I'm very, very proud of where he's at. He's making, freshman mistakes, which you expect. And we've only had him for 2 months, but the strides he's taken is incredible. And he's really pressing Timmy right now. And then, Xavier Williams is in a situation where he's just swimming a little bit as far as that goes with the offense. And again, he came in and he's got to go, he works extremely hard, and I love him. But we got to go execute the offense. And, there's a learning curve that's different for every quarterback. But I'm working with him constantly and getting him to get to a level where he can go compete. Because right now, he's making some mistakes and delivering the ball from point A to point B, and his lead shoulder to his target, and all the fundamentals that he needs to do. And when you got guys that are coming to kill you at quarterback, you got to be able to react and not just do it on air. So there's a learning curve that happens here. He's gotten better and better every day, but the guy that's probably the surprise is Dylan Risk. He's a player and he can play. So I'm very excited about his future and where he's going.
When you look at John Rice and when you got here in January to now, where has he made the biggest strides?
Just with his confidence in the offense and playing quarterback. He's not looking to run around and go take on the whole defense and go fight them to the death. He's not doing that anymore. He's playing quarterback. And it's fun. It's exciting. He's making great decisions, quick decisions. He's got his eyes on his progressions. He's understanding what where everybody's supposed to be. He's trusting the receivers. He's trusting the offense, where he's not worried about where they're going to be or what's going to happen. And he's looking at defenses, and he's reading defenses quicker, and he's getting the ball where it needs to be. And again, his progression these next 10 days of practice, because install is just about done, and now really start to really fine tune. The old TVs, when we had the top channel, I know nobody probably remembers that, and then you had the fine tune deal at the bottom, and you get it on the channel, and then you turn that knob. We're there with John Rice where we're fine tuning and getting ready to go, so that we can go be perfect in everything that we do.
Coach, what did you most like about Sunday's scrimmage?
I'll tell you, there was the thing that I liked the most is the long drives, because that's what we got to get used to. Our tempo was very good. Can it be better? Yes, but our tempo was good. Our alignments, assignment-wise, we know what we're doing. So that's half the battle right there, is knowing what you're doing. Then the next step is we got to sustain and we got to get tougher. We have to get tougher on offense. Right now, it's like, it's been summer and you're going against air or you're going against trash cans because we can't go against each other. Now you got to go press up against another human being that's really pressing you. And to understand pad level and all the fundamentals of everything that we do, we have to go do that. And we've got to get tougher. We got to be physical. And that was the weakness, I thought, in the scrimmage, that we weren't tough. We weren't tough. And that's what UCF is. That's what Knights are. And so not just running plays and knowing what to do, but now fine-tune what we're doing. And it's a toughness, it's a mentality that we bring every single day. And it got better today. It got better today at practice. You saw leadership on the sideline. We saw guys getting after. We had our longest team period that we've had so far since we've had fall camp, and they had to grind. And that's what Coach Malzahn's doing to them right now. And we grinded through it. And we actually were better at the end than we were in the beginning, which is a good sign. The throwing and catching part, John Rice missed 3 throws that were explosive plays down the field. And really, but what you didn't see in John Rice is the knucklehead play. The play where you're like, what is he doing? Those things didn't happen. And I was very proud of that, where he is really playing quarterback. And he, with just a couple targets to Kobe and one to Javon and one to Alec Holler, we complete those, and he had an unbelievable scrimmage. So, again, in those situations, I want to see us run the ball better. Okay, we are a great running team. We didn't run the ball with passion. I want to see our running backs getting after it. But we also have to create, seams for them, and we got to be able to do that, and that starts with the O-line. The big men lead the way. Big men lead the way. So, in that process, we got to do it all together as an offense. But I think our defense is very, very good. I think they have, Addison Williams is doing an incredible job with our defense. I think we're going to be a complete team. I really believe that. And we're going against good guys our D-line, our linebackers, our secondary, and it's a good situation where we really get to go at it every day with them.
Coach, a big day recruiting yesterday. You landed 2 big top recruits, one on each side of the ball. I know you can't talk specifics, but everybody knew when you went to the Big 12 this was going to change recruiting. No player is really out of reach for this program, correct?
Yes, sir. And the bottom line is Coach Malzahn is on it every single day. And guys, we don't have many days off. I mean, when you look at what's supposed to be the off season, it's not the off season for us. And Coach Malzahn has really just literally pressed the pedal down as far as recruiting goes and staying on guys and recruiting again. We'll recruit against anybody in the country. We're not worried about that. We're not, and we're going against SEC schools. We're not worried about that. And the bottom line is that we got to continue to we got more targets coming. And believe me, who's next? We're in that process right now of continually to do that, and then to keep them. And then we got to go do it on the field and go have a great season this year. It all works together.
Coach, what does it feel like for you? Because you have been around UCF in general for a long time, back when you played on that side of things, quarterbacks coach. What does it feel like now to kind of see this new era of UCF recruiting where UCF can get those blue chip recruits like that?
Yeah, and that's and again, going into Big 12 was huge. And everything that had happened and all the boosters and all the people that were a part of that, and Terry Mahajer, I mean, he's the best AD in the country. I mean, he's working his tail off constantly. And to get us into the Big 12 was huge, because now there's no more of that. And we and Coach Malzahn, in the past, we've done, you see the NFL players that UCF has put into the NFL and the talent that we've brought here and developed, but now we're going to bring in better talent quicker instead of having to wait for that development. And again, that's huge. And it all comes with the Big 12, because now they don't have that against us, because we're in the Power 5.
Darin, sorry.
Coach, can you talk about the challenges of not only just developing the quarterback, but also keeping the weapons around them happy? Being that, like you said, we're a running team, we have great guys like Kobe and Javon and Alec that can make plays in the passing game, but still you have a room of quarterbacks where you're trying to develop a true freshman like Dylan, a guy like JRP, like you say, fine-tuning. Can you just kind of speak about those challenges of not only being a quarterback coach, but also the offensive coordinator as well?
Well, the big thing too is we're going 1s, 2s, and 3s in everything we do. So everybody's getting reps and everybody has opportunities. And I tell every kid, when you have an opportunity, that's your opportunity. It doesn't matter what rack you're in or who you're with or what the situation is. Go make the most of your opportunity and practice. Again, you got to do it in practice. It just doesn't happen on Saturdays. You got to do it in practice and constantly grind. And then when that opportunity comes, go make that play. If you do it in practice, it will happen on Saturdays. And we're doing a very good job of that. But we are distributing the ball to a lot of different receivers, our tight ends, our running backs. We have depth at those positions, and we're developing that depth, and we got to continue to do that.
Darren, about the depth you talked about, well, is it a nice benefit to have now that you've got maybe more guys on the offensive line than maybe normal? You can move some guys around, have different groups come in and kind of spell guys during practice.
Yeah, and guys, that's what creates competition. Competition makes the best out of everybody. It's true. Trent Whittemore's coming on, and he's doing everything right. You got guys that are competing at positions, which causes you to again excel because you feel that pressure of somebody else wanting your job, and then we do rotate guys, and we go, okay, this guy outperformed you in practice. Now we're switching the lineup up, and that shouldn't be a situation where you pout or anything like it. It's okay, now I got to go get my job back, or I got to go prove that I should be up in that group, or I should get more touches, or whatever that situation is. Same thing happening when I played here. Every year they brought in a quarterback to take my job. They're like, okay. And every year it was one of those situations. I remember when Gene McDowell, he went and we were playing, I can't remember the exact game, but he said, you're going to get the first quarter, we're going to let the other quarterback have the second quarter. Well, I went out and threw a bunch of touchdown passes that first quarter to make sure that they knew that, by God, I want to be out there all the time. But that made, what did it do? It sparked me to go play harder and to go make sure that I go make the best of in the opportunity that I do have. And I tell those guys, you guys don't know what's going to happen in life and all the things that happen. You have an opportunity when you walk on that field and you take that line of scrimmage, that's your rep. And you don't know if you're going to get another one. That's up to God. But the bottom line is go give everything that you got on that rep, and then let's get ready for the next play. Don't take anything for granted.
Coach, how would you describe the battle at center? Are you starting to see separation?
The thing about it is that it's a good problem to have, is that we got three centers that can all play. They can all play. Now they've all made mistakes, and their snaps, and and Drake Metcalf is got here later than the other guys, so he's got a little bit different learning curve than Bula, and where Kittler is right now is a younger guy, so they all have their quirks about them that we got to get better, but they can all play. And Coach Hand is doing a great job, and Coach Malzahn is doing a great job of seeing, rotating those guys and giving them opportunities with the 1s, 2s, and 3s, and their opportunity to go out there and go perform. And I'm pleased where they're at. We gotta perfect that position though, but that's competition. That's what's making us better, and we got to go compete.
When would you like to have that decision made at center?
I'm going to let Coach Malzahn answer that question. The bottom line is that whoever's there, the next guy's got to be ready one snap later. So I'm like, let's develop the 1s, 2s, and 3s at every position so we're ready to go.
How important is it for John Rice to have that comfortability with who will be the
Well,
starting center?
100%, but he also has to be ready for the backup center to jump in too. So whoever he's working with, we got to be ready to perform at quarterback. But yeah, we'll start to get that narrowed down here in the next 10 practices before we start getting ready for Kent State, and we'll figure out when that time comes. But again, the biggest thing with those guys is compete.
Coach, speaking about leadership, who are some guys that kind of taking that next step forward that are becoming vocal leaders for the team that you're going to need kind of moving into the
Yeah,
next level?
and again, our leaders, Lakai on the offensive line, you see Marshall, who's taking a leadership role, Kylan, you see Kylan taking a leadership role, with the tight ends, it's Alec Holler. Alec Holler is extremely vocal, and he is a leader. John Rice is our leader, 100%, and he leads this offense. Outside, you see Javon Baker. I mean, he is coming on. He is practicing like every snap is important to him, and you see it, and it's going to show up on Saturdays. I'd like to see other receivers step up. Now, Xavier, who's about to come in here, he is 100%. X is a leader. I'd like him to be a little more vocal. I don't think I've heard a word from him outside of walking around the facility. But when he plays, he don't say a whole lot. But he is going 100 miles an hour. So very, very excited about X and where he's going at the wide receiver position. And then R.J. Harvey is a leader for us 100%. Like to see the running backs being more physical when they're running the football. As we're going through camp, again, being able to extend runs and do things and break tackles and do all, and they haven't been tackled. That was the first time we actually were tackled was a scrimmage. So next scrimmage, I want to see us breaking tackles.